Okay, this is Sean B. Bradley, CEO of Dealer Synergy. I've got Anna. She's the head of customer service here, and I'm on the phone with Julie from Andy Mohr Ford. Say hello, Julie.
Hello.
Okay, so what this is for, this is what's called a kickoff meeting. Part of the reason why we are recording it is so you could go back for reference, because I talk fast and there's a ton of information we need to go over with you just so we're on the same page, okay?
Okay.
All right, so first thing that I want to go into is, are you logged into the automotive internet sales site?
I am not.
Okay, what needs to happen is, and this is mandatory, is that you need to sign up for this website today, and I need you to get every
Okay.
single salesperson, every single person in the Ford dealership to sign up as well. Okay?
Not just my department.
No, the salespeople. Like, who sells the cars in your store? The salespeople, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, the salespeople. I'm going to explain to you why. It's the same thing. Do you see this site right here? Have you ever been here?
No.
Okay. This is automotiveinternetsales.com. There's almost 3,000 dealership members that are on here. This is my website. I created it for my dealer clients, and now everybody else and their mother in our industry jumps on. But watch, when you click View All, I'm going to bring up Andy Mohr because the Chevy store is on here, okay? Okay, so that's your Ford store, but when we look at Andy Mohr Chevy, what happens is everybody that's on here, this is their private group. Do you see this? So what we do is, when I'm at your dealership, I can actually shoot videos there, or from here I can shoot specific videos that are just for your store, okay? On top of that,
Okay.
part of what you're paying for, you're in contract. We're married with a prenup, you know what I mean? So we're locked in for the next year. And what we're part of our responsibility is we're going to be doing mystery shop phone calls. We're going to be doing call monitorings. We're going to be doing phone coaching. We're going to be doing phone training, okay? So every time we do a phone coaching or phone training session, instead of just emailing you the recap, if you look up here, what you're going to see is, it's framed into the site. So each one of your people will be able to go in and see what the synopsis or the recap of the training is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so on top of that, so that's from the phone coachings, phone trainings. Now, you know how, like, right now we're on a video go-to-meeting. Once we're done, I'm going to stop the recording. It's going to render. I'm going to upload that video to YouTube on private, and then I could put that video right over here, or I could put it here. I could put it wherever I want. So anything that we do when we have communication, interaction, when we're sharing information that's important, it's going to be saved in the Andy Mohr Ford's portal and the Andy Mohr Ford's private group. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So now, if you look over here, this is for Andy Mohr Chevrolet. Every time we did a mystery shopping or call monitoring report, every time we did a mystery shopping or call monitoring report for the entire month of July, it's all here. So this is what they look like. So we have a team of people at Dealer Synergy that we pretend to be customers, or we actually analyze your real phone calls, and we have a report card grading system. So not only do we fill the report card grading system up, but we store it on your private group. On top of that, we actually put your real MP3 audio file. So not only do we have the report, but we have the...
Thank you for calling. To enjoy the highest level of customer care.
So that's basically for Nicole Price, who's an internet coordinator at Andy Mohr Chevrolet. So again, this is the reason why this is not like a stupid site. This is not just another thing to do. It's just very, very important that you, everybody in your team, every single salesperson in your dealership, as well as every single manager, because it's, if they're going to be taking internet ups, that type of stuff, that's what needs to be there. So now, besides your private group, where the only people that would be able to access your private group would be you, Andy Mohr Ford, and then obviously Dealer Synergy. And, Eric Serplin, who runs operations for the whole Andy Mohr group, dealer group. Now, besides the groups here, that's your private groups. We have public groups. So if you want to learn anything specifically, now you're going to see everybody that's in my group, but you're not going to have access to all these because some of these are actual dealers. But if you look here, there's showroom sales, there's search engine marketing, there's search engine optimization, there's there's video production. So there's a lot of groups that you can get extra special information from. And in the top right-hand corner, anything that you're going to learn from us on site when we do training anything, you could go over here and type in, let's just say phone process, and we have free video training here. So if you take a look at this, this is like there's like thousands and thousands of articles, videos, and blog tips and information. So anything you want to know, this is all about phone process, from PowerPoints to training videos to articles to details. If you wanted to put objections and rebuttals, just put objections. So this is like a Google search, but it's a search of the website. And then boom, you're going to see all this right here. Now, that's the things that you can do on the back end or the search features. The other good aspect of it, this is like a LinkedIn or a Facebook, but for professionalism, for automotive internet sales. Like I mentioned to you, there's almost 3,000 members here. A lot of them are Ford dealerships, and a lot of them, are Dealer Synergy clients. So there's 2,691 dealership members on here. You could become friends with these people, interact with them, connect with them, ask them questions, and synergize. You have a professional community of automotive internet sales professionals that you could synergize with through it. So on top of the member directory, this is the latest activity. So you can look at here and see all the different things that people are doing. To give an example, this was an article that Mark Tewart is a national trainer. He wrote an article, and it just got posted the other day, and already there were 171 views. So remember, this is not like rock music or rap music, so there's not going to be thousands of millions of views, but there's 171 people that watched this thing, and then all these people commented on the post. So this is a real site. It's a real community where people really are interacting. It's almost like Wikipedia. It's not just you anymore with internet sales or automotive sales. You've got a whole entire network of professional people for free that want to help you and help guide you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is a big part of what we do at Dealer Synergy on the front end. I believe it doesn't matter if you hire us. I've been doing this for a while. I'm going to give you my quick background. But the truth is that it doesn't matter how smart or how gifted I am or my trainers are. You all, after we leave, after we do the training, need to self-educate, self-perpetuate, especially in internet sales and BDC. There's things that are changing from technology, sources, apps, details, strategies, almost on a daily or weekly basis. So this is a great resource for you for free to be able to tap into, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's that. Now, do you know my background?
No, I really don't.
Okay. It's kind of important. I own 8 companies, and the main one is this one that you guys signed up for, which is Dealer Synergy. And just a little bit about me. I've been in the automotive industry for almost 15 years. But the catch is I've done internet sales for 15 years straight. I did your job. I was an internet director for 5.5 years before I left to start my first company. And I sold literally over 100 units plus out of my internet department 12 years ago. So, I know that you guys are doing really well, but I was doing that over a decade ago, and I am a keynote speaker for NADAs, for NCM, NADA 20 groups. I'm in the National Speakers Association. I've created the only internet sales 20 group in our industry, so I have an internet 20 group. I work with a lot of state associations like the Detroit Dealer Association, the Massachusetts, the Atlanta, the Georgia, the New York, the New Jersey state associations, the national associations. I've written for about 13 different national magazines. I have 2 columns, one in Auto Success magazine and one in Ward's Auto Business magazine. And I've been a keynote speaker for J.D. Power, Digital Dealer, all that stuff. But that's my background. It's pretty significant. But the big news is that I've worked with thousands of automotive professionals. I've personally trained over 7,000 automotive professionals, 2,000 dealer principals and GMs, and these are all cover stories of national success of my clients. We are on every cover major magazine of Digital Dealer, Auto Success, Auto Dealer Monthly, Dealer Principal Magazine, Dealer Marketing Magazine, and all from bringing dealership to dealership from profound success. Now, you know that I work with your Chevy store, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you know what your Chevy store has done on our program?
I do not. I know they're supposedly doing better, but I don't know any numbers.
Okay, we're gonna. They were actually featured. I feature from time to time, not just my dealers, but just really strong dealerships on the Dealer of the Month, which is on here. And you know Charles Wells, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Charles, we put right here in May of 2013, Charles and his team over there, which we help with the recruiting screening, they sold 133 units out of their internet department at $288,000 in gross. So the reason why I'm showing this is I'm really not trying to impress you at all. I just kind of got the vibe that you guys are a really good store and you're doing really well. And it's like, well, why the hell do we need a training company to come in? And it wasn't Andy Mohr Ford's idea. It was Andy Mohr Dealer Group. It was the corporation that brought us in. So I just want to...
No, I'm grateful they brought you in. Here's the deal. I came in doing this without any training or knowledge other than what I knew from what I was doing. And there hasn't really been a whole lot of training to figure it out. So I've been waving the white flag asking for help, and Eric happened to have already said, you know, that he had done this over at Chevy and he really thought it would work, and asked me if it was something I'd be willing to try. Positively, I am here ready to do it, completely open and excited. I mean, I'm tired of trying to figure out how to stay afloat.
Well, listen.
Like, I want to exceed. I don't want to just, you know, stay at the same number I've been at every single month.
And it is absolutely my pleasure to help you. That you just made me extremely happy because I'm not mentioning any names, but I kind of felt a little hostile tendencies from some people in your camp over there. And it is what it is. You know, we were warned that some people wouldn't want us there, or what have you. And again, I'm not a parasite vendor. You know what I mean? Like, I don't cold call. I own a national company, one of them, you know, that has 22 employees on my team. Not one of them is in sales, Julie. Like 100% of our business comes to us. 100% of our business calls me. Like, I literally don't ever call anybody. And sometimes I don't get people back. You know what I mean?
You just need to know that anybody that is seeming hostile is that way with everybody. So just, you're fine.
All right, good. Okay, I just want to make it, because it's really weird for me, because usually, like, I don't normally sell people. Like, they beating down the doors, and I'm not being arrogant. I'm actually really humble about it. So when we didn't get like the warm and fuzzy vibe last phone call, like, oh, you guys are, you know, we're so excited, I was like really kind of taken aback. But you just made me feel way better. I'm so glad that you're...
No, I am on board 1,000,000,000%.
I love it.
Ready to do this.
Okay,
yes.
good. Well,
I just got back from vacation, and I had 596 emails, and I had yesterday off because my daughter's been really sick. So I am completely swamped, and I'm apologizing greatly. I normally would have already had all the girls call. I normally would have already had everything done. It's just I'm in the middle of trying to catch back up from being gone. So,
I totally understand. No, and enough said. You don't have to go in it. I totally believe it, and I'm cool about it. Here's what I need from you right now. Okay, is I need to go over some details that are going on with your store. Now, Anna, we haven't got anything from them yet at all, right?
Well, we have all the information.
Okay, so let's go through a checklist, and this is good for Joe Cal coming through.
can Anna hear me right now?
Yeah, she can.
Okay, I called Autobase. It was a little bit of a lengthy discussion with them. They're supposed to call her. If they don't within the next, in fact, if they don't today by 3:30, tell her to call me back, because I'll go back on calling them again.
No problem.
Okay, no, that's awesome. Now, here's the thing that I need, and basically I'm doing this because I want us to all be on the same page. I'm going to go through a bunch of details and information that I need, and I'll just make sure that was put into that assessment. I need to know what their DMS is. I don't need any login and passwords, but I need to know what their DMS is. I need to turn around and make sure that you have a login and password for Autobase. Okay, I need you to have a login and password for Autobase. Speaking about the CRM, I need you to make sure that you do an inventory of what email templates you're using. Identify if you like any of them out of there. If you don't, then just make a list of it. Then what we need to do is load up our email templates in the proper way. You need to look at what their action plans are in Autobase. The good news is that, you know, Charles Wells is an Autobase expert. He used to work for Autobase, and he's at Andy Mohr Chevrolet. Charles, I'm sure if you ask him for any help, any assistance. See, Julie, we work with 17 different CRMs, so we're not an expert in one. We're an expert in CRM, period. You know what I mean? So we might need just a little bit of guidance. How strong do you feel about Autobase? Really strong, or you want to work with Charles?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll probably work with Charles a little bit just so we can duplicate the processes that he's got in
They're
place.
going to be changing in a couple of months.
I understand, but until a couple months comes, we need to get this one set up the proper way. I don't want to wait, half-ass it. Okay, so now besides that, Julie, are you guys using an inventory pricing tool like vAuto and that type of stuff?
We have eCar List.
Okay, eCar List. So then what you're going to need to do is get the login and password not only for Autobase, but get a login and password for eCar List. Okay?
He doesn't have a situation.
Say again, what, Karen?
He doesn't have a situation with others.
What's the situation on Autobase?
She said they're going to call me, so I'll see.
Okay, good. All right, so now besides that, and who's your website designer?
Our website designer is, why is my brain blanking right now?
Is
Ben
it-
Blanco.
No, I'm just saying, like, is it a custom site, or do you use a company like Bin Solutions or Dealer.com or whatever?
Well, eCar List pushes to it, and TK Car Sites is who actually has the website up, but our developer is Ben Blanco.
Ben Blanco. Okay, here, then what needs to happen is that we need to have Ben Blanco's name and phone number and email address, so, if we need to speak to him about suggestions or ideas, that's great. Also, we want to turn around and get the login and password for the TK Car Sites, just because I want to look at the back-end analytics. I just want to make sure that you're getting what you're supposed to be getting and everything's working well there. Are you using any?
Okay.
Are you using any SEO companies or any companies to drive traffic or pay-per-click or retargeting or anything?
I do believe we are using Haystack. Anything SEO is not through me. It's through Lisa Nasario, which is Eric's person. It's his person who does it for all the stores.
That's no problem, but Haystacks, if you could just give us, here's an easy thing. If you could just give us the list of all your vendors, I don't know if you have them in an Excel sheet. That would be the easiest thing. All we need is the name of the company, the name of your rep, the phone number and email address. That would be great. I also want to know, what are you paying per month? Because part of what we do is we don't just change people and like that, but my job is so you make money. And making money is not just about selling cars. It's about making sure that you're spending as little as possible. So I want to just from my level turn around and take a look at it and my experience level, my resource level to see, are you overspending? Are you over getting charged for anything? Does that make sense?
Yes. I only have one small issue with that. I don't know anything about how much we pay for any of it.
Don't worry about
That's
it.
not
Then I'll
something
talk to
I'm
Eric.
aware of.
It's fair. That's why we're having this conversation. I want to know what you have access to, what you don't. But you at least know who all your vendors are, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, all of them except for the SEO things like Haystack. I
That's fine.
don't have anything to do with those.
That's all right. I'll work with Eric on the other side. If you could just turn around and send us a list of who all your vendors are that you work with, that's great. The other thing that is really important with the vendors, though, is that you are on Cars.com and AutoTrader, correct?
I am on Cars.com and AutoTrader. I just canceled Autos.com and AutoBytel.
All right.
I have them for the next month, but I canceled them.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. But as far as AutoTrader and Cars.com, we need absolutely for us to do our job in a consulting level, have the login and passwords of both AutoTrader and Cars.com, especially because there's 800 numbers, and I want to be able to listen to the phone calls because between me and you, Julie, I only want to do a little bit of the mystery shopping. I rather do 95% call monitoring. What we want to be able to do is listen to real phone calls because I don't want to inundate your people with fake appointments. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So again, and if you have a main phone number, which we're going to get into for a second, that we're going to listen to, that's one thing, but it is really important that we get a diversity. So if you have 800 numbers, I want to be able to listen to how your people respond to AutoTrader leads, Cars.com, not just to your main website. Make sense?
Well, as soon as we can get you hooked up to our actual Autobase, there's phone leads that are in there that you can just go in and listen to.
I absolutely understand that, but your phone leads from AutoTrader don't go into Autobase directly, do they?
All phone leads go in.
Okay,
Anything that was an incoming call goes in.
Okay,
we have call monitoring as far as everything that is incoming.
All right, I'm going to ask you a really dumb question, and it's me. It's not you, I promise. This is really important. Okay, so you know how AutoTrader records the phone calls, correct?
Do I know how they know? I do not.
Yes. So usually, you know how you get phone ups from AutoTrader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if you know this, but part of AutoTrader's back end You know what I mean? What happens is AutoTrader's got a back end like almost CRM, and that's how they tell you how many emails, how many site links, how many phone calls you've got, but it's also call recorded. A lot of dealers don't have a system like you do where you can record all phone calls. It's usually just phone calls from a specific number. So I just want you to make sure that if a phone up comes from AutoTrader, that Autobase can record that, because usually that's not normally the case. If that is the case, that's easier for us at Dealer Synergy. The only thing that it would be easy for is that, you know, the situation is this, is I don't know if it labels it in your Autobase that's an AutoTrader phone up. Does it do that?
You know, I don't know that it does that, no.
Okay, I don't think it does. And here's the reason why, because then what's going to happen is, try to imagine that my employees, they have to turn around and go into Autobase and they've got to look for phone calls. The way that it works is we don't just mystery shop, or we don't just do call monitoring on all phone calls. They have to have a certain criteria. They have to be at least like, how many minutes? 3 minutes? They have to be at least 3 minutes long. And the reason is because we don't want to have like a quick phone call or a voicemail left. It needs to be a phone call that we could actually grade. So what happens is my people are usually looking for phone calls. What I want to be able to do is, it'll be easier if I could just log into an AutoTrader phone up system, because then I know that's an AutoTrader phone up. Or I could log into your cars.com and I know that's a cars.com phone up. Because if I look in your Autobase, I might have 10 back-to-back phone ups that are just from your dealership callbacks. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to try to see how you handle different situations. But this is really good that you know this stuff. Okay, now how we do our thing. All right, now besides the phone ups, so that led me into the other situation. So for phone ups, it's through Autobase. So it is really important. Not only are we integrated with Autobase so we can monitor their CRM, set up their CRM, go back and forth, but so we can be properly set up for doing all the call monitorings through Autobase. Okay, Anna? Okay. Next question, Julie, is do you and your team have cameras, like web cameras?
No.
Okay, I need you to get them. It's mandatory. Okay, they're like $15. Because I'm in street clothes, but I'm going to just show you something. I'm going to put my camera on in a second, and you'll be able to see this. Even though I'm recording this conversation, you're not going to be able. Don't worry, my face or your face is not going to be recorded. Only what's on my screen. And unfortunately, I've had this white background for a while. But as we get to training, as we get to working here, like I said, I'm in street clothes right now. My wife is 9.5 months pregnant, so I went to the doctor today, so I'm not in my suit. But I wanted to just show you, it's
Well,
a lot.
congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's our 4th kid, so we're
Oh,
excited.
yay.
Yeah, we have a 14-year-old, a 12.5-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a baby on the way.
Wow, brave you.
Yes, very. So, but you see this, just seeing me, and if I'm able to see you, it's a better way for us to develop a rapport with each other, especially as your training company. You know, I want to really get to know you. I want you to get to know me and my team. And it's just something that I like. Technology is easy, just clicking a button and we can see each other. So I think it's really imperative for us when we're doing the phone training, the phone coaching, that we do it through web conference like this. Would you agree?
Yes.
Plus, I want to teach you by example that a lot of my successful dealers are using web cameras to communicate with prospects. Not all the time, but in their email, part of the email template is offering a dealer, it's offering a prospect the opportunity. For example, I can send an email. Hey, Julie, this is Sean Bradley. I'm calling from Andy. I'm reaching out to you from Andy Mohr Ford. I was calling about your internet, purchase request. I was reaching out to you for your internet purchase request. And wanted to first thank you, but I wanted to set up the best time that we could go over your purchase request. I've got all the answers to your question, and here are the couple ways. We could either actually just do it on a straight phone call, but if you like, I could do video Skype, or I could even do a video GoToMeeting, and I think it would be better for you to get to see who I am. And if you don't have a camera, don't worry, I don't need to see you, but I'd like you to see me and get to know who you're going to do business with. Stop. Do you see how that works, Julie?
Yeah.
So I'm just freestyling right now. Obviously, we've got scripts, and it's way smoother. But my point being is that I've got dealers, I've got internet managers, internet coordinators, appointment setters, BDC reps that are communicating through video, either live streaming video, or they record a quick video and they're sending it out as a video email response to a prospect. And what you're doing is you're going above and beyond. So I don't want to turn this into a training session, but that's why I want the stupid webcams. Fair enough?
Got it.
All right, next. What I need to know is how many people are in your department right now. Do you got that information?
I have 4 girls and myself.
Okay, so you got 4
I had
girls.
a 5th person, but he resigned on Wednesday.
Okay, it's not a problem. So we're going to be doing the HR for you guys anyway, so it's all good. So you've got 4 coordinators, and they're just appointment setters, correct?
Yes.
Okay, 4 coordinators and the director. And how many leads are you getting fresh right now?
Can I switch off the screen for 2 seconds?
Sure. How many leads have you got fresh?
Hold on, it's still pulling. I've got the slowest computer in the history right now.
You got a little southern twang, girl. Where are you from?
North Carolina.
I see. I knew it. Knew it.
Where are you guys at?
We're in New
California?
Jersey. Nah, we're in New Jersey, but I'm from New York.
Oh my goodness, where at in New York?
I'm from Queens, lived in Brooklyn, stranded in New Jersey.
Wow. My dad used to live in Hurley, New York. That's upstate, but
I got clients in North Carolina. I got clients in Fayetteville, North Carolina, in Waynesville, Asheville, Charlotte, all over the place.
yeah, I used to live in Hendersonville, which is really close to Asheville.
Actually, it's funny you mention that. We have my friend. He's a dealer. He just bought a dealer group, Hendersonville Chrysler Dodge Jeep. My friend owns that.
That is hilarious. My brother just started working there.
No way. You serious?
Yes, way. Not kidding at all. He sent me a message yesterday.
Listen, tell me you know people in high places because I know the owner. The owner's name is Van Ulp. It's a very weird name, Van Ulp.
I'll have to tell him. I'll call him today and be like, I know who your owner is.
Yeah, and not just that, who your trainer is. That's my client. That's my active client right now. I left that part out, but that's my client. So that's freaking funny. How many leads you got,
Well,
girl?
my brother's name is Mark Young, so now I'm dying to know whenever he trains with you.
Okay. Is he doing the internet or just showroom?
No, just showroom.
Okay.
Okay, I have 972 leads
Woo! Oh, we got problems, girl.
and 4 people.
Yeah.
I
okay.
told you. I wasn't kidding.
But it
So
gets
now tell
worse.
me your number.
Okay, no, it gets worse because I'm going to show you something. How many units do you sell a month out of that
Oh,
department?
hold on. Let me flip back over because I can't see your screen. Not 940, 972.
Oh, 972. Okay, so how many units do you sell a month?
Well, we've been steady at 160, but I think we're a little lower than that this month.
So you think that you're selling 160
That's been normal, but I think it's lower than that this month.
out of the internet department?
Yes.
Okay, hold on for a second. So there's about 800.
But we also have eBay, but yes.
Okay, so that's about 812. Okay, so there means there's 812 leads left over. I mean, watch this. So in the month of August, let's just pretend in the month of August you had 972 leads, right? If you sold 160 in August, that means that there's 818 leads that you didn't sell. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now watch. You're going to start September 1st at least with 500 carryover leads. The average buying cycle is 400. I'm sorry. The average buying cycle is 45 to 90 days. Again, the average buying cycle is 45 to 90 days. So if you're going to start, you're not going to start September 1st, I promise you, with 0 leads. You have carryover leads. So if you start with 500 plus 812, you have really 1,312 leads. Now, do you handle phone-ups?
We do not take phone-ups. I would love to take phone-ups because
We're going to work on that.
number of appointments.
We're going to love working with each other. You know what I mean? So it's 1,312.
Good.
So you got to understand, you have 1,312, leads. That's way too much for just 4 people. But I need to just kind of tell you something. I'm not saying I don't believe anything that you're saying. I trust you. You seem like a real honest, sweet person. What you're telling me at 160 is astronomically high. I've never seen a dealership sell that many cars this jacked up. You know what I mean? Like, again, you've got your Chevy store. Do you know what I mean? You've got your Chevy store. Your sister store is only doing 133 cars, and look at how many people they've got in there, and they're killing it. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. When you go to the Chevy store, they've got all these are appointment sitters. I think they've got 1, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've got 6 or 7 appointment setters and the internet director. They've got
They
8
just
people.
added two.
They've got 8 appointment setters. They've got 8 appointment setters, and they're only selling 133 cars. Do you know what I'm saying? So I got to
Yeah.
be honest with you, and I'm not saying it's you at all, and I mean that. I'm not shy. I'm a New Yorker. Like, I'm very brutally honest. Like, if there's a good cop, bad cop in my company, I'm the bad cop. So, like, I'm not just saying this to make you feel better or whatever, but so I don't think it's you, but I will say this. I think your numbers are wrong. I got to tell you that. From 15 years doing this, there's no way in hell that you guys are selling 160 cars out of your department. Here's why. To me, the way that I define an internet sale is not somebody that says, oh, they've been into the internet department. That doesn't count, okay? I don't count that at all. Because right now, I want to let you know this, 92 to 99% of people are going online before they step foot into the dealership. So almost every single person is an internet prospect to some degree, okay? So now, when you think of it this way, all right, then the question becomes, okay, how many are true internet deals? So what I mean by true internet deals, this is how I calculate that, is how many leads are you getting? Out of those leads, how many leads are converting to appointments? Out of those appointments that were made, how many people showed up? Out of those shows, how many people got sold? Now, I'm gonna show you some stuff right now that's going to blow your mind. This is the reality of why you're not effective and why there's no way in hell you're selling 160 cars, okay? And follow me on the math. The average connection ratio on the phones is 11 to 14%, okay? Now, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but right or wrong, I don't care if you've been doing this for 1 day or 10 years or 15 years in my case, the hardest part of internet sales, in my opinion, agree or disagree with me, is just getting the person on the phone. Lady,
Yeah.
yes. So now watch. Here's why. Look at the screen, okay? If you look at this,
Okay.
it's because it's only an 11 to 14% connection ratio, so follow me. In my system and in Chevy, I make you make or take 120 phone calls. So if you make or take 120 phone calls, that means at an 11 to 14%, you're only going to connect with, I'd say, 14 to 16.8 people. Follow the math. So if you're going to connect with 14 to 16 people times a 25% appointment made ratio equals 4 to 6 appointments in a day. So let's do your math with your 4 people. If you take 4 times 120 equals, and your people are not making 120 phone calls right now. I already know that. But let's just pretend they were really doing what they're supposed to do because they're not trained, so it's not their fault. You're talking about 480 calls a day. 480 calls a day times, and at the end of this month, there'll be 22 working days. Times 22 working days, okay? So you take 480 times 22 working days, should be 10,560. So out of 10,560, in my opinion, even if you are operating on all cylinders, and follow me, every single working day, your people only work 5 working days, so I don't care how many days are in the month, you only have 22 working days in the month. So if you've got 4 people every single working day, without exception, without fail, each making 120 phone calls, based on the facts that there's only an 11 and 14% connection ratio, they're going to only be able to make 10,560. Now, my opinion is that you probably don't even have 10,560 because you're not organized, right, or trained. But if you did, you take 10,560 times 0.14. I'm saying you're going to connect with 14%, which equals 1,478 connections. Out of the 1,478 connections times 25% equals times 0.25, at best, you're going to make 369 appointments in the month, okay, times a 55% show ratio times 0.55 is 203. That's 203 appointments equals 203 appointments showed. You're going to get 203 appointments showed times 0.45 selling ratio. I say 91 cars times 45% selling ratio equals 91 cars. So I don't know how many cars you got out this month, but if you were following my system, 4 people is only going to get you 91 cars. So I got to just tell you, for you, do you see what I'm saying? Because there's a cause and effect. Now, a lot of people could come in and say that they were on the internet, and especially when you have the showroom floor, it's a no freaking brainer. But that's not what I'm counting on. What I'm talking about is out of the leads. If you have 972 leads, out of those 972 leads, a percentage of those, are going to convert to appointments that are going to convert into shows, which are going to convert to the solds. Does that make sense? Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry. The receptionist just came to tell me she was leaving.
Okay, but does that make sense, the formula that I'm showing you here?
Yes.
So now, here's the thing. Now, it's not just this amount. Remember right here, this is important. It's not just this amount, the 972. It's actually this. Okay, so when we look at this, it is the 1,302 leads that you have. So when you look at it, what you've got to be able to do is this. You should be able to keep track of your sold log. You should have a sold log that is basically of all your leads. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. It should be of all your sold leads. You should be able to track an additional 3 variables. And those variables are the date that the lead came in on, the date that the lead closed, and the window period. For example, if it came in on the 2nd, it sold on the 5th, it's a 3-day window period. You add all your window periods up, you divide it by how many cars you sold, and you have your average window period. Every one of my dealers, including your Chevy store, tracks these metrics. How many leads did I get today and month to date? How many outbound phone calls did I make today and month to date? How many connections did I make today and month to date? How many appointments did I make today and month to date? How many appointments did I confirm today and month to date? How many appointments showed today and month to date? How many appointments that showed got sold today and month to date? How strong is that, Julie?
Good. That's really strong.
Now, I don't want you to get scared because you're thinking, oh my God, I get paid. I don't know what your pay plan is right now because I haven't even bothered to ask, but Eric will tell me exactly what the pay plans are and what we need to modify. To me, an internet director should be paid very well, like any other real manager, like a real sales manager. In my opinion, you should get paid a percentage of the gross of the department, and more importantly, a monetary figure of what appointments get showed to the dealership. So in my opinion, and this is what I'm going to move to make your pay plan, and don't freak out, it's actually going to make you a lot more money, okay?
Okay.
You don't sell cars. Your department doesn't sell cars, so to pay you solely on deals is just stupid because you have no control of it. You're at the mercy of the salespeople on the showroom floor. But since you're the director, you don't want to give cars away. So I would say, in my opinion, 50% of your compensation, in my opinion, should be a percentage of the gross of the department. Okay, that's easy to track. The second way is the other half, the other 50% of your compensation should be on appointments that show. So the first conversation that I'm going to have with Eric, okay, not Mike, but Eric, is basically going over this here. I'm going to say, Eric, look, what do you want me to do? Do you really believe that they're delivering 160 cars out of this internet department with only 4 people? Really? Where your Chevy store is delivering 130 with 9 people in their department. And he's going to probably say no, and he's going to say, what do you mean? I'm going to break it down like this. So I don't want you to have, not fake numbers, but I don't want you to have different numbers. I want you to have true righteous numbers, and I want you to be paid a lot of money on those real numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going to happen is, for me to come in here and, they're going to look, I'm going to tell them right now, there's no way in hell you're going to think you're going to hire me, and I'm going to come in and you're going to magically sell 200 cars out of your internet department, because I don't believe you're selling 160 real cars out of your internet department now. Forget about getting you to 200. Now, what I think that you're probably selling is possibly 90 to 100 cars out of your internet department screaming. You might even be at 75. I don't know. You know what I mean? But the only way that we're going to be able to track it is by keeping track of what you're doing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now, just so that I know where you're at and where I'm at, we have eBay department, and then also the girls are paid if they've had contacts within the last 30 days.
Yeah.
So if that car sells and they've had contacts in the last 30 days, that's how they're paid, because we're paid
changing.
on sold.
It's getting changed. All that's crazy. You know what I mean? Because
okay, but I want you to know where the 160's been coming from. I don't want you to.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that makes.
I don't want you to think that we're just blowing up a whole big number. That we are paid on sold. Therefore, if they have been calling and texting and emailing, if they've had contact within the last 30 days.
Yeah, but no, here this pay plan is going to get changed. This whole thing, because here's my thing. Do you really believe, based on what I said, that, you know, within the month of August, for example, that you've been responsible for that month, in the month of August, for 160 sales?
Positively not this month. But again, I think that we've been doing it completely different because we are paid on solds, not on shows.
Right. So, and that's got to change, and I'm going to work through that, and it's not going to be a problem. I'm not worried about that at all on my end, and it's not going to hurt you at all. I promise you. You're going to make a crap load of money, but they're basically incentivizing you and making you do stuff that's thrown off numbers. What I want to be able to do, and follow my logic, there's a cause and effect. Watch. So let's just turn on and do it this way. This number represents, okay, this number over here represents your units sold. Now, I'm averaging. The number's a little bit different. I gave you the real numbers here. But if you want to sell a real 100 cars out of your internet department, you need to get approximately 200 bodies to your dealership, right or wrong?
Yes, very correct.
Okay, and to do that, you need to make at least 400 appointments. I'm just saying on a 50-50-50 ratio. Does this logically make sense to you?
Positively.
Okay, do you or your girls
And out of those, I think that you should have at least 800 to 10,000.
Yes, ma'am. We're on the same page. Yes, you're on the same page. Now look at
Okay.
this. My question is this, honestly, no matter how smart you are, how hard you work, and how sweet you are, how brilliant you are, do you have any freaking control of the cars getting sold?
Hell no.
Okay,
No,
so
but
then
that's
how
we've
are
been
you going
getting-
to turn? But now, if your pay plan was structured on what you could 100% control, getting bodies to show up, there's a cause and effect. If I was going to tell you in your department, listen, I need you to get me 300 bodies, and you're going to make a shitload of money by getting people to show up, what are you going to do? You're going to focus on crushing it and driving traffic and getting bodies to show up, yes or no?
Oh, positively.
And that's what you have control over. So that's what my whole system is about, is empowering you for greatness. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about here just for a second is that you need to have the right amount of people. In my opinion, with the amount of leads that you have, you should be, okay, you should be at least 8 people. Okay, you should have double the staff that you have. Double. Now watch the math. I'm gonna push this out for you right here. I'm gonna drop my text down to 18. Now, if you have 8 people, 8 times 120 equals, so here's the model. Here's what we're doing. 8 times 120 equals 960. 960 calls per day. This is crazy. Times 22 working days equals times 22. You ready for this? 21,120 calls. Out of that, times 14% equals times 1/4 is 2,956. 2,956 connections. Okay, times 25% appointment made ratio equals times 0.25. 739 times, sorry, 55 percentage. 406 shows. Times do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
This is your model. That's your model that I'm suggesting. With the amount of leads that you have, if you have 8 people making or taking 120 phone calls in a day, that's 960 calls per day, times 22 working days is 21,120 phone calls, times 14% connection ratio is 2,956 connections. And these are not unique people. This means that you're going to have multiple conversations to be able to make the appointment. Out of your connections, you're going to make 25% appointments. 739 appointments times a 55% show ratio times a 45% selling ratio. That's 182 units. That's how you're going to do it. There's no way in how you're going to do it with only 4 people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what we're going to do at Dealer Synergy, I'm going to wrap this call up right here because this is beautiful that we're on the same page. We're going to help you set up your CRM. We're going to help you, with your email templates, your scripts, your details. We're going to help you with your recruiting. We're going to help you find, if we need 4 more bodies, okay, we are going to hire you 6 more people. Understand, okay? The reason why is that I want you to have the 8 best people. I'm going to repeat that, the 8 best people you could possibly have. So I'm not saying that your people are not awesome already, but what we're going to do is we're going to get 6 more people plus your 4. We're going to have 10 people. And within the first 30 days, we're going to eliminate 2 of them. I'm not saying they have to be part of the 4. Your 4 might still stay, but I'm going to tell people when I get there, there's 10 of you here. 2 of you will not be here in 30 days. We're going to play survivor of the internet department. I mean this literally. I want people to know that this is not a joke. This is not a game. We are building a multi-million-dollar department, and we only want the best 8 people. Julie, you want the best 8 people on your team, right or wrong?
Positively.
And if we need 8 people and we have to fire somebody or somebody quits so they got problems, then we're screwed. We're 1 or 2 people short. So we're going to overhire slightly. We're going to find you literally 6 more bodies, good bodies, and then we're going to have a total of 10 people. And within 30 days, probably 2 weeks, but within 30 days, we're going to let 2 people go. We're going to let them know from the door, like, look, you got to make it to here. You can't just expect a job. You got to earn it. It's a 30-day probationary period. And at the end of 30 days, we're going to have the best 8 people for your team, and you're going to have the best training possible, and you're going to crush it. That's my program.
Okay. So how are you going to do the getting the people?
That's what we do. My company does everything. We specialize in recruiting, screening, interviewing, and recommending hires. You don't have to worry about it.
Hallelujah. Because let me just tell you, I have gone through at least 100 people in the last 2 months. Disastrous.
That's why Eric brought us in. Part of what my company does is, remember all those employees I mentioned to you? Everybody has a section here. I support dealerships. So we do training, consulting, but I don't know if you know this, but I have a full digital marketing company and staff. I've got website designers, graphic design artists, I own a video production company, video production people, social media, search engine optimization, online reputation. I've got trainers. I got former GMs. I've got, car people. I've got HR experts. Me and my wife are certified Franklin Covey trainers. We're the only partner with a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company, Franklin Covey, in the entire automotive industry. So we specialize in recruiting, screening, interviewing, getting you the best quality candidates. This is how come the Chevy store is crushing it. So we're going to do all this for you.
Because that was not me. That was a disaster.
I got you, girl. Don't worry about it. Like, all I need you to do is work with my people, with Anna, and just be open-minded and just allow me to do what I do. You know what I mean? So from here on, I'm going to stop the recording from here because we're good. One more thing I want to just add into it, I just pressed the record button again, is that, and I told Mike about this and he wasn't happy about it, but you guys got to stop doing everything else besides the internet. No more unsold showroom traffic. Once they touch the dealership, it is no longer your responsibility to follow up. It is the salesperson's responsibility. You're not a babysitter or secretary. You know what I mean? There's too many leads to do the salespeople's jobs for them and your own job. Do you understand me?
Yes.
So, again, I understand because you get paid on shows, and that's why I get it. That's why the pay plan is faulty. I only want you to have tunnel vision, like straight up, like, look at this. I know I'm being weird, but like there's a point here, tunnel vision. I want you to just pound the phones, and get the body in. Once it's in, it's the salesperson's job. You understand me?
Yes.
So I'm going to work this.
I'm on board for that.